승리의 맛은 달콤했나, 가오보. 하지만 여기서 끝이라 생각하는 큰 오산이 이제 우리의 차례다. 기대해도 좋아. GSL 시즌 2 The Coming Storm. 모든 준비는 끝났다. 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? We're here for day 2 of season 2 of the GSL Code S, and today we have a non-Korean, an American playing.
But he's so damn good, you might mistake him for being European or Korean, even.
A European, Zerg, or a Korean. So today is going to be a lot of fun. We got to hop right back into GSL season 2 immediately after season 1 since we started so late. But the games have been great, and yeah, special already advancing as well.
Yeah, that was a great first day, and I think that, like I said, I think this season's going to be better. I was saying this earlier, probably on my stream or something. I feel like this season's going to be the best season of the year. I don't want to undersell season 3, but I just have this feeling about this season, you know, where it's like I look at the groups and the players that have made it in, and the mix-up of the new maps plus the new patch, and I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to have a good time.
We're definitely going to have a good time. That much is for sure. And we're lucky, man, because we're one of the only tournaments that can still keep going on, and we can still keep doing stuff out of our studio here, while everything else has been pretty much shut down or put online. So, yeah, it's good. Life is good, at least in this regard. This is the one thing we got.
It's one thing that's going on well.
Yes. Uninterrupted.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun. I'm very excited to see Astrea play. But I'm going to shut up.
I'm very happy about it, honestly. Like, I've tried twice before, and I've tried for a GSL Super Tournament a few times before, so very happy just to get in this season, honestly.
그 사람들도 솔직히 다 올라올 실력이라고 생각하기 때문에 딱히 올라왔다고 신기하거나 하진 않고 다 올라올 만한 사람들이 올라왔다고 생각해요.
근데 뭐 봤을 때 딱히 신이라고 느껴지진 않아가지고요. 그 사람이 그 사람이고 뭐 약간 이런 느낌이라서 제가 GSL 16강을 뚫은 게 한 4, 5년 걸렸거든요. 그 예선하고는 좀 차원이 다를 만큼 힘드니까 열심히 준비하는 수밖에 없다 생각합니다.
저랑 맞붙게 된다면 조심하세요.
옛날 같았으면 별 생각 없었을 텐데 요새는 불안해요. 저도 끌려갈 것 같고 명장이 나오니까 많은 생각이 들더라고요.
내 미래구나 싶어요. 저는 뭐 할 수 있는 만큼 최대한 하고 가고 싶은데 과연 나라에서 그걸 허락해 줄지가 걱정이네요.
솔직히 형들이 군대 간다고 해서 저는 솔직히 그렇게 남일 같지가 않아서 저까지 같이 뒤숭숭해지는 것도 있는 것 같아요.
열심히 준비하고 항상 뭐 꼭 우승해야겠다는 생각을 가지고 하는데 지난 시즌까지 좀 부담이 심했던 것 같아요. 태양이 형이랑 하면서 부담도 심했고 뭐 너무 안일했다? 이번 시즌은 또 작년하고 비슷하게 준비해 보려고.
I appreciate everyone who has been watching me for like the past couple years. I know just recently I've been getting quite good, I think, so I appreciate all the fans who've been supporting me the whole time, and even the new fans too.
요즘에 정말 열심히 연습하고 있는데 많이 응원해 주시고 많이 기대하면서 보셨으면 좋겠습니다.
패치 내용이 솔직히 저거한테 별로 좋지가 않은데 극복해가지고 저만의 스타일로 잘 극복할 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
라운드 24 다크 아스트레아 임팩트 스태치.
Thank you for shutting up, Artosis. We had productions like, we're throwing the video on now! So, yeah, this is going to be a great group. I think Dark is an obvious favorite to get out, but I think it's tough for the other 3 players who's going to advance.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there. I think that's a good assessment. Like, Dark should be the big favorite of this group.
Yeah.
He's definitely better than ever in this group, including Stats. Stats hasn't been doing that well in the last couple of years. So I think it's this guy that should be taking this group down.
Here's the way I think it's going to go. I think Dark advances, and then it gets really interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Now, that being said, I'm excited to see what Astrea can do here coming up. Obviously, Dark is like the world champion, and he has to be favored against everyone, or it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, only people like Maru, TY, people like that, you can really be like, okay, well, maybe they can take him out. But
maybe they can upset this.
Yeah, yeah. But I do want to say that, like, Astrea is such an interesting player. You know, I've been following this guy and his play for quite some time now. And, you know, I saw actually, which I thought was a very cool comparison. Idrolink tweeted out that Astrea kind of reminds him of Noni a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I can definitely agree in some ways. Like, first off, both, like, ravishingly handsome.
Yes.
And very nice people. And here's the thing that really gets me. They're just, like, very, very smart. That is something that really strikes me about Astrea. I've talked with him a ton. Like, myself and No Regret got made fun of a lot for putting so much Astrea stuff on in depth.
Yeah, I know about this.
Yeah, and they were like, he's like the third member of it. And it's like, well, his play is so interesting. He has such a cool, different style. And just talking to the guy and watching him practice some when I go over to the team house and those types of things, I think he just has so much potential. And I'm very excited to see what he has prepared for Dark.
Yeah, I imagine Dark wins this 2-0, but you do not want to count Astrea out. You know, we've known about this guy for a long time here in Korea, but I think for a lot of our viewers, he may be a much newer face.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
This is what makes StarCraft so exciting. You know, we've been out for over 10 years here with GSL, and he's one of our new players coming out here. Let's see how he performs. It's going to be tough, but I think he still has a shot to make it through this group. Game 1 is ready. Dark versus Astrea starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크 박명우.
Again, the best part of the dragon.
알파 엑스 아스트레아 맥센.
All right. So, we see Astrea just starting off with the hatchery block. We're on Death Aura, so that's always exciting.
So if I could jump in just for a second here.
Yeah.
You know, we are very fortunate because out here we get to meet a lot of the pros that are trying to get into GSL. I know that for most of you that watch, your GSL experience is just the players you see on the screen, but there's several players that are constantly trying to advance and get in and just don't quite make it. And a lot of them, you know, really don't have, their stories are not really told here.
Yeah.
Astrea's been in Korea for a long time.
Yeah.
He'll come by the studio, we'll say hi to him. I've had the chance to talk to him a couple times, have a beer with him. He's a really, you know, I don't think personality is always a factor with a pro, but I think he's got the right personality to be in these high-pressure situations. He's very okay in his own skin. He didn't seem nervous at all.
Yeah, that's true.
When he came to the studio, which is helpful. I think he's probably going to perform pretty well. You know, we have a lot of players who do manage to qualify, Korean or not, and then they get freaked out because they're finally actually in GSL. You know, this thing they've been working their whole lives to get to. Suddenly they're there, and then they can underperform. But I'm not expecting that with Astrea here.
Yeah, he seems like confident today to be able to play his best, and he thinks that that's probably not enough to get through the group.
Yeah.
But he thinks he can play his best, and I think that that's a great mindset. And I think he has a great mindset overall. Like, I mean, there's just so many small things about Astrea from conversations I've had with him and talking to him about strategy, and just like I've seen him, for instance, before his practice session, he looks through his notebook about notes he's written to himself and stuff, and about, you know, whatever it is with his games that are going to be going on. And when I put all that together, I'm like, damn, I wish I was that, you know? But it's going to be exciting.
Well, another thing as well is he's actually very good at chess. We all play chess out here, and he is. I don't think I've ever beaten him.
Yeah, no, he's
just
really
one of these guys that's very smart, very on top of it.
Indeed. Well, one more ego stroke here for Astrea.
Sure.
He's quite stylistic. He plays his own way, and for instance, a bunch of the games I've seen him play, he'll do kind of interesting, like he'll go Nexus first sometimes, right? He'll go for Colossus builds when other people were not going for Colossus builds, even though that's gained a bit of traction, right? So I've seen him do very gateway-heavy styles in tough situations, and I think that kind of helps him to prepare for these guys. It's going to be hard. Like, you can't just play against any Protoss and be prepared for him.
Right, right. Now, the matchup PvZ, though, this is a matchup that can be pretty damn tough for the Protoss. It's basically one where the Protoss has to figure out some way to stop the Zerg. If Zerg is allowed to follow its natural course, it will oftentimes eventually be so big it just can't be killed. And so Protosses have become very crafty at having different types of pushes. The element of surprise has to be with the Protoss here, because if the Zerg can identify it, usually they'll be able to twist and turn and get back into a place where they can actually defend. So let's see what kind of opening we're going to have here from Astrea. It looks like we're going to have Adepts with Glaives.
Yep.
Now, it's not just the fact that he gets that tech, it's also how does he attack, where do the Adepts move? Does he split them off and maybe do a warp it in the main? But it's up to the Zerg to just completely defend and lose as little drones as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of times with these Adept builds, it turns into this funny game where you chase the shades over and over and the shades never complete. If both players are playing correctly, right? If it's like perfect defense from Zerg, and then... Wait a minute, what's in that prism? Is that a sentry in there?
I didn't see. Does he have a sentry in there?
Well, he has one thing in it. Right? I mean, it could just be something as simple as an Adept. Okay, it is a sentry. So this is the type of thing I'm talking about. This is a very tricky move. He's added his own thing to this build, right?
Yeah.
It seems to me like he is looking for a situation where he might be able to shade up a ramp and then do a force field.
I think you're exactly right, Artosis.
And maybe that'll happen. Maybe that won't happen.
He might actually force field the ramp as he hits here. Is he going to do it?
Yes, he is.
Here we go.
And, oh my god, that force field goes down. The Queens cannot come up. The Roaches cannot come up. But is this actually enough to fight at the top of the ramp? Throws down another force field. Does end up losing that sentry.
Well, he will have enough energy for one more force field, or no?
No, he lost it.
Oh, he lost the sentry.
Yeah,
I'm
got
sorry.
targeted down there.
I thought it actually went back into the War Prism. I didn't see that. But very cool stuff here. I'm loving how original this is. Now, 9 drones have been picked off so far.
Yeah, I don't know that that's enough. Like, obviously, he killed a bunch of Lings and everything as well, but look at what he's got at home, right? He's sitting here on 38 probes, which is, I mean, Dark lost a lot of drones, so it looks better than it is, I would say, but he's only had 2 gas this whole time. He is making his first Immortal, but it's not a great follow-up, right? It feels like he has to 2-base all in from here, doesn't it?
I would think so, yeah. I'm not sure if this is enough damage. He's got to be careful now with every Adept from here on out, because if you overextend while you're doing these attacks, you're going to have a pretty brittle army when the actual push comes here. So we have Immortals that are coming out now. We do see some more probes being made, so maybe he will just try to take a third, but I'm on the same page as you with what you said. I think he probably has to win with a push.
Yeah, no, I think so, right? Like, he's still trying to get some damage done, but it feels like Dark is kind of retaining enough. And it's not like we have anything that's gaining value right now for Astrea. It's not like he has 6 sentries at home that are gaining 4 force fields, right?
Right.
He's just making, like, brute force units. Here comes a second Prism. Like, I don't know. We'll see what he has planned.
Well, not a bad idea. Just takes out 2 more drones.
Sure. Well,
he can't
have to
afford
keep him busy, right?
Yeah, you can't afford to lose this Warp Prism, so we want to watch for that, whether it's during the harass or it actually is in the push. Ooh. In fact, this is almost going to be stuck down here. Now, is he actually going to take a third? Sometimes we'll see players throw a pylon down there and put a probe, and then they just push anyways.
I tell you, he's got 2 prisms, which throws me a bit for a loop if he's going to expand. I don't think he's going to expand.
Oh, did he get a second prism?
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe he pushes with 1 prism, making it seem real, and then the other prism can do something in the main base?
I think you're right.
not sure what else you would be trying to do, but look, this is a 1 sentry push, so it doesn't have any real staying power.
Yeah, he does get in there. Did he actually get kills on the drones?
I think he got 1 drone and a
Okay.
couple lings or something.
Yeah, we didn't have the ticker show up, so I wasn't sure if I was just not seeing that correctly. Oh my God, right on top of the sentry.
Ouch.
You know, you almost never see Ravagers actually hit the key unit if it's not a Warp Prism that's sieged up here. So losing that means overall, you know, the buffed defense is gone now in this push.
Well, he has made a Nexus behind. His probe count is like, it's reasonable compared to the drone count. And he has his 2 Immortals still. He's getting a 3rd out, adding some sentries now to his army. But, you know, this feels like a position where Dark has multiple options and Astrea really doesn't as much, right?
Yeah, I agree. This is just, it appears to be a game that Dark should be able to easily direct it to a win here. He's actually got such an insanely high supply now. If I'm seeing this correctly, I think Dark is literally just going to move out, smash the 3rd, and we're going to hop right into game 2. But I do like what Astrea did early on with that sentry, that very unique attack with the Adepts coming in there.
Yeah.
And then blocking the ramp. It's actually a strategy we used to see a lot in the very early days of StarCraft 2, and it sort of fizzled out. But it did pretty well, and I mean, I think if we were seated against a player who wasn't Dark in this case, maybe we would have a different result.
Oh my God, look at this huge attack coming down right now. Biles hitting absolutely everywhere. He does use that overcharge. Let's see if that is going to make a difference. It doesn't feel like it. So many Roaches and Ravagers here. Oh my God, it's just way too much.
Okay, it's just going to be these 2 Immortals now, and there's nothing he can do. GG, Dark wins game 1.
Yeah. So it was a cool idea from Astrea. I think you have to make a strategy like that and take a risk like that against Dark. He's just, I mean, he's the world champion. He's a GSL champion. He's the scariest Zerg that you can find. And so to do something like, okay, let's do the normal Adept play, but mix in a sentry for force fields, I think it was a reasonable idea. And a lot of times people will do a more roach-heavy defense. That was very ling-heavy. So the lings were quick enough to keep up with the shades completely. So there was a lot of units on top of the ramp when he did the force field, whereas if it was more roach-heavy, maybe there would have been less.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I think it was a cool idea. And I especially like the timing, because his Prism got there exactly as the shades were coming up. So, like, you can tell he really practiced this and had a good idea of what he was doing. It just didn't work out.
We're going to go to game number 2 now. It'll be on the map Everdream. Dark, the clear favorite, right now has a 1-0 lead, but Astrea is playing well. I think Artosis are both in agreement that the ideas he's showing here are definitely very, very good. You know, if he could just manage to pull them off. But PvZ's hard. This is really weird being on camera like with this music playing so loudly in my earphones right now.
I feel like this is the music that I play for myself when I walk around on the street. That's my theme song.
Okay, the music's off now. So, yeah, I mean, Astrea looks good. I think we shouldn't be too shocked that Dark won and won like that.
Yeah.
I think that is the kind of strategy that you have to try to do if you're going to beat somebody like Dark. But, I mean, let's face it. Dark basically chews up Protosses and spits them out. I mean,
Yeah. Also, if you look at the group realistically, I don't think he did this, but I just want to throw this out there. I almost feel like I would have my very best anti-Zerg strategies for Impact.
Yeah. I was going to bring this up.
Because it's like, stats and Impact are much more doable than Dark.
And the thing is, that's a strategy that I don't think you can do over and over again, right? I mean, one of the things that's so cool about it is that you have the sentry hidden inside the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
There's no way they can't click on the Warp Prism and see that it's in there. So to spring an attack on a player like that, it's really smart. It's really good. But again, the more you use it, the more obvious it becomes.
As soon as you do that one time, like Impact is just sitting there, right? And if he glances at the game, he's like, okay, I'll just watch for that if I play him.
Okay, I'm not going to lose to that now.
Yeah, the Prism's coming in. Okay, I'm ready for it.
There are builds in a GSL that you can only do once, and whether it works or not, it's been used up. And then there's build orders that are very safe and very conservative that you can do over and over again. But unless he's got something better, I kind of agree with what you said. I think it almost would have been better to save that for Impact.
Well, I don't know. Like, maybe if that's one of his better builds, but that seemed kind of like a cheeky thing to try to just catch Dark. Like, haha, you messed up one time, I win. Whereas I feel like he might want to use his stronger plays against Impact, because you have to look at this, and if you want to look at it realistically for advancing purposes, Astrea's PvP is really strong.
Sure.
I think he has a chance against Stats.
Yeah.
I think that there is a legitimate chance there. We know that that's a volatile matchup, especially. And then you look at Impact, it's a kind of an aggressive Zerg overall. The games that I generally get to see from Astrea, he plays a more of a macro Protoss. So I would be using my absolute best strategies that fit my style against Impact more and mixing it up against Dark more. I feel like that would be a reasonable strategy to try to get out of a group that's very tough.
Yeah. I think we're pretty much in agreement that Dark is probably going to 2-0 here. Probably just going to move on.
I can't believe you would say that.
I know.
I cannot.
I'm very brave, Artosis. It's a very
believe.
controversial stance I'm taking here. But yeah, I mean, maybe Astrea takes a game. That'd be cool. But I think most likely Dark's going to win here and then probably win in the winner's match. And
It's hard to
very
imagine
easily
anyone
move
taking
on.
Dark down, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe Stats is going to kind of pick up as best Protoss in the world again, but he hasn't really been for a while now.
Excuse me. Yeah, Stats, his style isn't working these days. Stats is really on the very conservative end of Protoss players, very defensive. Oh, okay, we're ready for our game. Let's go. Game
경기가
2.
준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 드래곤 피닉스 게이밍 다크 박영우.
Damn, we're having some
Yeah, we're having
real
lots of
issues
hiccups
huh?
today. A pause from Astrea. We're going to have the ref come over there.
Well,
Look how
there's
charming
been
he
some
is.
issues with his computer today. He just keeps on having the refs go over there to try to fix it. I guess he got the dud PC. Here's the thing, Tasteless. When you have 4 PCs, one of them's the worst. You gotta give it to the new guy.
Wait, that's not true. I think they all have the exact same equipment, Artosis.
No, Tasteless.
It's 3 PCs and then one's an Xbox.
Like, oh, it's an American pro gamer. Here's your
You're like,
Xbox.
but you can't play StarCraft on an Xbox. Like, yeah, but we modded it.
Yeah.
So it just runs. but
Didn't you
runs
know
like crap.
that Xboxes are better than PCs?
Yeah, everybody knows consoles are better than PCs.
Yeah, that's clear. Oh, dude, guess what I got?
What?
I got this game called Halo Wars that's like an RTS for Xbox.
I love how you talk about other games like, I got this game called Halo Wars. Like,
Yeah. Why? What's
You're just
up?
such a StarCraft microcosm. Yeah, how is Halo Wars? I have
Oh,
not
I
actually
don't know
played.
yet. I don't know yet. I'm gonna stream trying it maybe next week
Yeah.
or the week after.
Is
So
that
I'm
going to go better
excited.
than the Command & Conquer remake that you streamed?
It would be hard to be worse.
I actually had a good time playing the Command & Conquer remake. I
Did
was
you?
streaming it, but yeah, I grew up playing that game. That was like my first RTS game.
Do you like how when you tell like something to go somewhere, it does circles and goes backwards,
Yeah, that's my favorite
and
part
how
of the
they
game.
don't fire at
Yeah.
anything? And
It
nothing
reminds me of
is-
my Dragoons in StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is good. Nothing
except
works.
even worse. It's bad. It's like
I-
controlling
I-
scarabs.
I went on YouTube and I checked out like competitive Red Alert
yeah.
matches, like at the highest level. It's pretty interesting.
Is it?
It's weird because there's so many different foundations that RTSs are built on. And there's like stuff that you. I'll show you after the show.
Is it just a bunch of engineers running around stealing buildings?
No, they make a lot of tanks. They make
Yeah?
a lot of light tanks and run around.
Huh. Cool.
Because I thought, the engineer is just the most ridiculous OP thing ever.
Well,
but
no, the little dude with the grenades is.
the Grenadier.
That guy killed my whole army like 20 times
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah.
One of them. It's like a defiler Tasteless, except you get it right away.
It's true. It's hard to micro the units in Command & Conquer as well.
It really is. It really is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out this game called Halo Wars.
This game called Halo Wars.
It's number 2
On
even.
this thing called an Xbox.
Yeah, no, I have this cool thing. It's like a little weird looking white PC that plugs in my TV called an Xbox, yeah. But I don't have a keyboard for it. It's really weird.
No, it's because you use one of
Well,
these.
I have a keyboard, but it has like 4 buttons on it and like 2 mouse sticks.
Yeah.
It's like what I imagine
It's a
Protoss players
keyboard, but
use
the only
against me.
the only letters it has is like Y and X and A and B.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Very hard to chat with that.
It is.
No.
I normally
Wait,
say
you have-
yeah.
Wait, you have a PlayStation, right? PS4? Why do you not know this? Why look at his face when I said that. He was like, "Do I own a
I believe
PlayStation?"
that my wife technically owns.
This is like
a
me saying, "Do you have a
PlayStation.
microwave?" And you're like,
Yeah, I have a microwave.
I think so.
No, I have a microwave. I believe we technically own one, but I've never played a game on it.
You have a Switch though. I know
Yeah,
you play
I
the Switch.
play the Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's good.
And then, but you don't have an Xbox.
No, I got an Xbox for my birthday this year. That's why I have an Xbox game
You're
called
quite
Halo
the
Wars
gamer.
2.
Oh, that's right.
Quite
Yeah,
the
you were saying
gamer.
that earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now all those jokes that I always make about Xbox achievements, I get to actually see it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know how often I just do something stupidly random in Slime Rancher, and it's like 2.6% of people have gotten this award. Like
I actually hate the achievements.
they're so stupid. They're so stupid.
Yeah. Also, in these story games, you get an achievement. It's like, well, I don't need the achievement. I'm just going through the story. You know.
Yeah.
If you get this no
Well,
matter what, I
everyone
don't
get this.
Yeah, everybody gets
Yeah.
this, right?
No, that
So I
happened.
don't need it.
I beat Slime Rancher, and it gave me the achievement. They're like, "Wow, you beat the game!" Like,
You know, there's people that are super into those achievements, though. Did you know that? That try to get like every single thing in the game. I find it. I find it hard to go back and replay a game and try to get all the unlockables.
Well,
I feel like I
guess
beat
if
a game and I'm done with
If
it.
you like a game enough, I have played so much Breath of the Wild at this point.
Yeah.
So much. I have done so much in that game. There's almost nothing left. To the point where like I look at it, I'm like, no, I'm not going to play because there's no point.
Yeah.
So I kind of.
But are there achievements in that too, or
No, there's no achievements.
Mhm.
Because I'm not a loser, tasteless, but
nice?
no, but there's like there's all sorts of stuff you have to do, like quests.
Okay. Yeah. I was playing that for a little bit, and then I kind of stopped. Breath of the Wild.
You made a mistake.
I know.
You got to play it more.
Now that my hands are working, I have all these games that I'm supposed to be playing. It's actually too much.
Yeah. Just play more Brood War.
That's what I've been doing. I've
That's-
just been playing a lot of Brood War.
That's the way to do it.
So what is the deal? This is the longest pause I think we've had this year.
Well, yeah.
So I've been notified that his hotkeys are not working correctly. So they're trying to get his hotkeys set up, and hopefully we'll get that fixed. Maybe we'll take him off the Xbox.
Put him on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, but he can play on the good PC, but it has to be on a tube monitor. Remember tube monitors?
Yeah, of
Monitors
course.
with the backs on them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what we used for years and years.
I can't believe I would carry that to LAN parties. I can't believe I was actually willing as a kid to pack
I
up
never
my
brought
PC.
a PC to any place.
Oh, I go to LAN parties every weekend. That's how I grew up.
Yeah, we didn't have those in New Hampshire.
You didn't have
You
the-
lived in the big city.
the Kansas City, the big city.
How many people live in Kansas City?
Like 1 million.
Okay, that's as much as the state that I grew up in. So yeah.
Yeah,
the
but your
big city.
state's like you're from New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
It's a little tiny.
It's
city.
not Rhode Island. It's New Hampshire.
We would every weekend. I would get with my friends. We would all get our PCs together and go to. There was 3 houses we could go to. We'd sometimes do it at my house, but then we'd get in trouble for being up too late because I lived above my mom, so I was always getting in trouble.
Oh,
like,
you lived
walking
in the
around.
attic too?
I lived in the attic.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I was an attic.
We're
nerd.
attic boys.
We are attic boys. We're not basement guys.
No.
No, man. That's how you turn out okay. You get raised in the attic.
That's funny, actually. I never connected this. That we both lived
We both
in
lived in the attic. Yeah.
above our moms and got yelled at for being too loud.
Probably suffered some amount of brain damage from the asbestos we inhaled in there, which is why we find each other funny and nobody else finds us funny.
Yeah, that's it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Attic boys.
Still learning new things about each other. This is how you keep things fresh, guys.
That's how you keep a
Someone
relationship
links
like
us
this going.
To us already having this conversation 9 years ago. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't remember anything from that time.
Yeah, how many attic gamers are there versus basement nerds?
Yeah. My house didn't have a basement, actually.
You did not have any basement.
No basement.
We had a basement, but it was dark and scary.
We had a furnace room, and that was the thing of nightmares.
No, I've been at your house. You have a basement. I've been downstairs.
Well, that's downstairs. It's like a furnished.
I guess you're right,
It
actually.
has
Yeah.
windows and stuff. It's like half underground.
Okay, fair enough. You don't
Yeah.
have a basement.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't have a
Don't-
basement and then also have windows.
Yeah, don't you be telling me I have a basement when I don't have a basement. I don't want to be a basement guy.
We had a basement in my house, but it just had like a treadmill and the washing machines down
And
there.
day 9.
No, day 9, we shared the room together. We grew up in the same attic. He's also an attic nerd.
That makes sense. I'd figure him more for an attic nerd than you.
No, we were both Attic nerds.
Wow.
So thank God we got this fixed. I hope his hockeys are okay in that last game. That's weird that it wasn't set up right.
Yeah. Stargate opener. Okay, mixing it up. I like it.
All right. So what kind of push are we going to have here from Astrea? I'm very curious.
I mean, this could be a macro build. We don't really know yet, right? Because it is a Stargate opener, and that is something that is going to very easily get into a third base, if that's what you're looking to do. So maybe a 3-base push. I wouldn't mind him actually trying one macro game against Dark, because Dark, he'll pull the trigger on units pretty early compared to other macro reserves. If you're playing against, like, a Rogue or a... well, maybe Rogue isn't the best guy to talk about because he'll just make a Nidus Worm at some point. But you know, other big macro zergs like a Serral or something, right? These guys will just kind of like be like, oh, you're macroing, okay, and then they'll macro and they'll out macro you and kind of kill you in the late game. But Dark is someone that eventually, a lot of the time, will just be like, okay, here's all my Roaches and Ravagers, right? Let's go. So if you've kind of like played the honorable path of going into like 3-base macro, getting ready for a 4th, you're going to be able to stop an attack that comes. You know, it's not like, you know, we talk about how PvZ can be challenging at points, but not that hard, right? If you're just playing regular standard macro and they attack you, you're going to be fine.
Nice movement here with these Adepts, by the way. I got a quick question for you while this game's going to build up here. As you are a fellow Attic nerd, I want to know, when you were a teenager, what soda were you drinking while you gamed in your attic?
Coca-Cola.
You were a Coca-Cola guy.
I was, yeah. Coca-Cola.
I was always a, well, for a while it was Surge. I don't know if they still have Surge.
Oh.
I thought that was the coolest drink ever, though. I was totally on board.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I was a Dr. Pepper guy.
Do you remember OK Soda?
I don't think we had that in Kansas.
Oh, damn.
We don't get a lot of the stuff that's on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Yeah.
We don't get nice things in the Midwest, okay?
No.
By the way, 3 drones have been killed off here. Everything going fine.
Not too bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. But you don't drink soda now, right? You're not much of a soda person.
No, I don't drink soda really at all, no.
Again, it's the Attic nerd thing, you know?
Yeah, no. Attic nerds, they just, you know, we grow up and we don't drink soda anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
So here's
you guys wouldn't understand because you didn't grow up in an attic.
Yeah, you guys probably just grew up in a bedroom like some kind of freak.
So stupid. Love it.
Oh, Dark, really good defense here.
Yeah, very nice. But, you know, reasonable harassment attempts from Astrea. Still flying around. He's checking out what's going on. Is taking that 3rd base. Still going into Glaives, though. So we'll see what the plan is here with the Glaives, right? Like, is this just going to be light harassment? Is he going to actually go into, like, something dedicated with this? If he is, he's going to have to add the gateways very, very soon. But look at his worker count, right? We're up at 51, still making them. So it feels like a macro play, but yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it, with the Glaives? I'm not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, normally we have Glaives made earlier in a push coming here, but I guess he wants to add Glaives in.
It feels like a very old build, actually.
Yeah,
but without any Phoenixes mixed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's just
it does
kind
seem
of
like a build from a different era.
3-gate Glaives with pressure, right?
You know,
it kind of forces your opponent to go Roach.
It's crazy how much Adepts changed the whole way Protoss operate in PvZ. Talk about a unit having a major impact on the game.
Hey, not too bad, not too bad. Running around with these Adepts now. Let's see what he gets done.
Oh, really good placement.
Hey, he actually gets in here. All right, gonna start shading out, but let's see how many drones he actually ends up getting. All right, his Spine finishes up. Does finish this shade as well. Picking off quite a few links. Look at this, double robo behind. So he's gonna be able to get into Immortals very heavily.
Astrea's playing a great game.
He
here,
really
man.
is.
He really is looking good.
Yeah,
great movement here too. He's going to be able to get some more of these drones. I love what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. And this is not that big of a commitment, right? He's just going into charge behind. It doesn't seem like he's planning on making any more Adepts. And I mean, once he actually gets some Immortals out here, he's going to be completely safe. Look at the worker count. Astrea's killing it right now, man.
Okay. Once again, cruising through here, doing so much damage. I love how many drones are getting picked off here. Because, you know, Astrea's not really overextending in this whole process.
No, he's not at all. This is fantastic because he's just kind of keeping Dark busy, keeping that drone count in check. I mean, Dark pops back up and is similar in workers to Astrea, but Astrea's tech looks strong. He's pumping 2 Immortals at a time. He has a Forge going. He's getting into his Templar Archives. He's getting Charge done. Like, he's got the full economy going on. In fact, more so. 70 probes. This is looking nice. I'm actually getting nerd chills right now.
Yeah, this is looking really good. And this is a much more robust play coming from Astrea than the last game. It was smart. It was a really sneaky tactic he had opened up here that he disguised very well. But this time he's just playing a very clean pressure style, continuing to grow, continuing to build up. He's looking very healthy back at home. I love the double robo. We do have the Hydrogen coming here from Dark. As Dark, we're getting to the point now where Zerg really gets to grow on the map, you know.
Yeah. And look at that, the 4th base.
Wow.
Absolutely is. Adding in Archons at the moment. We don't see Psystorm. We don't see any real dedicated splash as of yet. And that's the one thing I really do want to see out of Astrea, but right now what he's got is a very powerful army. And you know what, if he moves out during this transition for Dark, because look at what Dark's up to, right? He's like, okay, let's maybe get into some lurkers, maybe some Hydras, taking a 4th base and all. Like Astrea, I think he's going to have a timing that he can actually move out and do something with.
I'm glad we're finally getting to cast this guy.
I know.
It's been so long since he's been out here, but everybody gets to see his play now for real. So yeah, I mean, this is a steady macro build, getting all the tech that you want. Storm is being upgraded. We've got weapons upgrade coming here. The thing is, though, is that this is kind of where Dark really shines, right? Is in these insane macro games.
He is very good in those situations.
Yeah, so let's see where we go from here. But, I mean, a 4-base Protoss, there's not much more you can ask for. So we're going to have this push come out here eventually. We should note that at the top, the creep spread is really good. So if, unless Astrea cleans that up, I don't think we're going to see a push through there just yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's moving with 2 different sets of units, right? He's got these Zealots that are like acting like they're going to harass, then his main army down the bottom. Look at this, the Prism goes in the main base as well. Doesn't seem like he's going to get too much done with that Prism. I like this kind of roaming he's doing. He's trying not to overcommit, even though maybe there's a little bit here. The 1 Roach flank.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah,
those
nice
were 2 really big snipes.
Yeah.
2 Archons, that's so much gas loss. Oh.
I like the idea he was going for, roaming around, because he was moving in 3 areas. His group of Zealots, the Prism, and the main force, but everything got shut down there. It was very, very good defense from Dark. But the game is not over from something like that either.
No,
look at this,
it's
Astrea. Oh my god, is he going to go carriers?
Oh man, that would be just amazing.
I think it's a good call. Like, if your opponent's going to be going into a big plume of lurkers, that's going to be good.
Okay, he needs to stop losing these Archons, though. This is brutal. That's 4 Archons now that have been killed and done virtually no damage.
But you know what? Like, he's staying pretty busy. I don't think he's going to quite get that. Yeah,
yeah, I think he's good.
That's too bad, because that would be huge to get that before Tapping Talons is done.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a lot of damage, you know, from those Zealots, but actually, that many Roaches and Hydras firing, it will kill everything very quickly.
Look at this. He is actually everywhere.
Yeah.
He's also got his main army actually moving on to creep as well.
Yeah, up here on the north, here comes the push, and I see about 7 lurkers or something like that over here. Great Psy Storms, just obliterates this. Oh my god, those are some of the best storms you could ever ask for.
No,
but is it enough?
Amazing. Look how many Immortals he actually has, but his barriers are gone. And a few units still come out. If he just had a few more units in here, 5 Zealots would have helped him clean that and keep 4 more Immortals alive. But you know what? He cleans most of the army, backs up, and he has carriers on the way. Now, if he can kind of stall this out and get a decent number of carriers, like that could be really hard for Dark to deal with.
Astrea is showing us the way.
He is.
I'm loving this PvZ here.
Is he the savior of Protoss?
He might be.
Well, Dark sees that carriers are on the way, so that's going to make it a bit harder. Obviously, Vipers and Hydras together.
Carriers,
can't deal with it.
They take a long time to make, so seeing it ahead of time, you know, that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Versus just springing the carriers onto your opponent.
Let's not forget, though, feedback back to its former glory.
That's true.
Looking strong lately, so maybe he can zone that out. Is he going to go Deathball style with this?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the Vipers could be an issue. He has those High Templars there. He has the Oracles, so that can give him a little bit of vision, a little bit of spotting on those Vipers.
Okay, another base being taken. I mean, we're seeing some pretty crazy macro player. I'm loving this. I just want to see if we can go all the way with it. We have another push coming out here. So with the first carriers coming up, and there's a lot of Hydras here. So maybe he can just handle this. What's cool about this is Protoss is continuing to grow and grow and grow. And we're almost having what looks like a TVZ in late game, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody's getting every base on the map, and now there's going to be a lot of fights over, at least in the case of this map, the bottom right or the upper left.
I want to mention he's getting Blink right now, which I just find a little bit interesting. He's also getting the second Cybernetic score, so you can see that he's really thinking about staying on these carriers. But I think in these types of situations, it's really nice to have Blink, because if you get into weird base trades where the economy gets very small for both players, Blink Stalkers become very, very powerful in those situations.
Yeah.
And I've seen Astrea play some strange switches into like counter-attacking mobile gateway armies in the late game against Zerg in the past. Maybe not always optimal, but just something to keep in mind.
Okay, it looks like Dark's going to try to push away this army here in the center. We're in that phase of the game where they both have these huge, death balls they're roaming around with. I love the Zealot play, though, like this down here. If you can just keep poking out these corner bases, the Zerg is going to dry up before the Protoss. The Zerg has to keep expanding ahead of the Protoss here.
Yeah. And Dark hasn't been able to attack, right? He's kind of playing a very turtled style, so Astrea's economy is not being hurt at all. He's taking that 5th base. He's going to be able to saturate it easily.
It should be pointed out here, they're both maxed out, so the gas and the minerals are going to start to fill in here quite a bit.
Double Prism being made. I am just loving this. This is so cool. Double Spire over on the other side. This is This is what I paid to see, Tasteless, or well, being paid to cast. But you know,
yeah.
This is what I've wanted.
This is what you're being paid to see.
Yeah, no, well, it's been such a long time of Protoss is just kind of doing slight variations on all in against Zerg.
Yeah.
And now to watch Astrea like just get a maxed out sick-looking army against Dark, I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, this looks great.
Now, there's
very, very exciting.
There are infestors being made. He already has pathogen glands. I just want to throw this out there. Might we finally see for the first time the...
You just kept looking at me, but...
Yeah. Well, why is my brain just going dead? I'm like trying to think of this stupid name of this stupid infestor spell that we never ever have seen.
What, Neural?
No, not Neural. The stupid cloud thing.
Huh?
Why can't I think of the name of the cloud thing? Never mind, Tasteless.
It's okay, Archos. But with this push coming in here, down at the bottom, he might be able to poke out this base. He's trying to draw some of the army back here into the main. And this is where we're getting to see Zerg really get squeezed. Like, look at the map. Where can Zerg really expand and keep? Right?
Yeah,
Maybe there's that one base in the upper left, but you're almost out of options. Protoss still has a very easy expansion in the middle of the map that you could take. Zerg can't really counterattack that and hit him.
Well, he has to fully push himself into an area. All right, so nice fungals going out.
Oh, harpooning those two carriers.
Oh.
Although nice side storms there on some of those Hydras.
2 carriers falling very, very inexpensively.
It's hard to push into this kind of stuff. I mean, remember, guys, spores don't cost any supply. You can get a lot of these things here.
It's so true.
We've got the air upgrades coming through here as well.
They're just getting everything. He's making 4 carriers at a time right now. He's making another Nexus.
We're probably not going to get it, but I would love to see where the minerals are being taken here. Because Zerg is going to run out a little bit more quickly than Protoss. That's one of the things you got to remember is when you see Zerg in the super late game, even though they've been growing faster, that also means that they end up taking all the resources from those patches earlier. So sometimes if you can just outlast a Zerg, they don't have any more bases they can take.
Well, is he going to be able to stop the cost efficiency of Dark's army? Right,
that's
because
one of the
between
problems.
Vipers and Infestors, and of course having as many spores as you want, basically.
It does seem like you get way more value out of Infestors than you ever do out of Templars. You know, if you look at just the cast units, but
Yeah.
you know, interceptors in high numbers with carriers, they can get some very good exchanges. But they're really not.
They can. They don't really, you know, they kill stuff so quick. The DPS is so high, but obviously, you know, you're a little bit afraid of being yoinked in because the second that an abduct goes off on it, that is it for that carrier.
Yeah.
All right, finally Prism speed on the way, continuing those upgrades.
Now this is completely worth it. If you can just poke out this hatchery here, that's all you need.
Dude, I love that they are literally doing everything. You can see the late game mastery from these two.
This is so sick.
Look at Dark with even the Ultraless Cavern. Like, are we going to see Ultras?
He just wants that achievement of getting all the
Yes.
second one Sartosis.
That's it. He's got to make every unit in this game.
Look at the great balance that Astrea has here on the map. He's got this main army, great feedback there.
Dude.
He's got the main army here pushing and basically locking the Zerg out and growing to the bottom right. He's got Zealots at the top that he's using to take out these bases over here. And then he's just continuing to expand. Zerg is so preoccupied defending.
Oh my god, that was amazing. He stopped all the Vipers there dead in their tracks.
So sick.
Just amazing. We finally saw the stupid cloud spell for the first time in GSL.
Now we have the carriers coming through here. And he's just forcing, is that a DT? No, just one Zealot.
Oh, that's the one thing he doesn't have, those DT tech comp.
Yeah, that would actually not be a bad idea to just get some DT tech
Look
here.
at that, the one Zealot. It's like, yeah, here, let's tax your multitasking a little bit.
If you don't go back and kill this, I will get your hive. Okay?
What a funny thing to think of. 20 minutes in, one Zealot going after that hive.
Yeah. So Astrea's now taken both of these bases over here. I don't know about Protoss this late into the game. Do you want to try to spam out a bunch of cannons here, or is that...
He did make a fair amount in the center. I think that you do want some shield batteries and cannons up. I'm not sure exactly how many you really want.
You know, one thing to point out is that every time you see a score made, it's another drone. And so in some weird way, he's really forcing... oh my god, hold on. Great storms and feedbacks there. And pulls away before losing any of these Immortals.
I like the way he's using these Immortals as well, because they don't necessarily scale that well into the late game. They can still break some positions like that, though.
So Astrea, weirdly enough to say, actually has more map presence than Dark. Dark has got this super powerful defensive setup, but it doesn't really allow him to move out on the map. It also doesn't lend itself that well to spreading creep. And so now we have this upper left base. And by the way, upper left and bottom right, it's kind of ambiguous which race is really supposed to get that.
Microbial Shroud once again. I make like 3 or 4 jokes about that spell every week between the cast and the Pylon show, and I can't believe I forgot it
No,
today.
this happens to me. There's abilities that I have my own name for, and if you're like, well, what is it actually called? I'm like, I don't know. I only cast Escape for a living.
This is literally the first games I've cast where I've seen it cast.
Yeah.
I've seen a few games where it's been cast by other players, but yeah. Wow.
So the Oracles are going to tag again. This makes it really easy to see, okay, he's got all that there, then I can move in with these Immortals maybe.
Right? Very nice move. I like it. Throwing out some storms, just erasing things with the Immortals. Great usage of them. You know, the barriers come up. These things are so tanky. Just move in on the other side of the map. I think there are so many brilliant late-game moves being made by Astrea. This is awesome. This like harkens back to Neeb in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where I'm watching him play late game, I'm like, I haven't seen another Protoss play such a solid PvZ late game on this
Fist of Neeb.
The Fist of Neeb, man. 199 supply army.
That's right. Oh man, these Immortals are getting so much value. And you were totally right. I mean, these things tend to not scale that well, but Astrea's really getting utility out of them.
He's making them work so well, right? He's got the Psy Storms that kind of protect them, and they're just bashing through things. And the trick is they're so far away from the main action. Yeah. That's why they're being so valuable. I love it. Those were he got so much out of those. A lot of times the Immortals at this point in the game, there's not much to do with them.
Well, what? This is kind of weird. Leaves 2 of those carriers back there. What happened that triggered this?
I think that was a mistake.
That did not look right.
Yeah, he just, you know, it's not that big a radius, so maybe
Does
just a
Dark
mistake.
not know about this Nexus in the upper left? By the way, Astrea never mined from this Nexus. This is like a placeholder.
Scouting Nexus.
It's like a parking spot or something.
Ooh, nice storm.
Okay, I mean, Dark's got to be careful with these Hydras. They're not on creep. These Storms are really getting a lot of damage.
Look at the banks. 10K, 5.5K against 4K, 3.3K. Astrea's got the bigger bank. He's got more probes. Obviously, that means lower army. He's got great air upgrades here. We can definitely say the same for Dark, though. He's closing in on 3-3 himself. Adding a lot of Corruptors in at this point. By the way, like I feel like we're really seeing some awesome late game play from Astrea. You can tell he's very good at this portion of this matchup. And we haven't seen the Mothership.
Oh yeah, I was forgot about that.
He is a -400 boy.
This is, well, again, I wish we could actually go back and check the minerals here. How much Dark actually has that he can still mine from. I know the banks are very high, but you know, generally speaking, when you check and see how many minerals are left in each of these bases, you get a much better idea of, you know, where this game can actually go, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Astrea has expanded on the right side of the map all the way. Ultras are actually being added in right now.
Okay.
Ultras with full upgrades are going to do well against all sorts of things. Their armor is very good against interceptors overall. Obviously, carriers will kill them, though. They're good against Zealots with their splash damage and everything, and high armor against the double attack.
Right.
You know, they could help to clear out High Templars and things like that. Interesting to see him add them in. But as all the Immortals die, like, that's one thing you're never really going to remake, right? Once Immortals die this late in the game, when it's air armies, you're not thinking to yourself, well, I really need 4 Immortals under these carriers.
No, that phase of the game is not there anymore. By the way, really committing to the bottom right. Cannons and batteries. So, I mean, he's saying he wants this. So, again, we want to watch for this upper left area. We did have Zerg expand up a little bit further up there, but, I mean, right now, what Astrea's doing, same with Dark, is going for value play. Hold on, we have Dud coming in here.
Oh, my God. Does the recall, a couple left over. Everything is going to die that's left here, it looks like.
Yeah.
But look at this, the counterattack. A billion Zealots hit that top left base.
Okay, we've got Ultras pushing forward. There's a lot of cannons, a lot more Warpins coming in here. 13 Stalkers, which he can use to micro against this. Astrea looks like he's...
Oh my God! Look at this, he's going into Mass Void Ray as well. He is not switching back into carriers. He has a lot of Stalkers mixed in here as well. Let's see what he can do. A lot of defensive structures over here, but with this many Corruptors.
He needs
there's no
Storm
way.
over here. Yeah, the Corruptors are just going to eliminate the entire air
Oh my
army.
God, do you see what he's doing? Do you see that? Tasteless. He forced him into Mass Corruptors, and now he's going Mass Speed Void Rays.
Yeah.
Void Rays counter Corruptors.
Yeah.
So now he's
God.
everywhere with Zealots. He has his Stalkers out, and now he's going to have a ton of Void Rays to help out against these. Oh, as long as they don't rally through everything. Oh no.
Oh my God, he needs to get more of these Void Rays before they can actually be used. The Corruptor number is just so high. Oh my God, he's going for the Hive.
Oh, he's not going for the Hive
He's
anymore.
not going for the Hive anymore. He was going for it.
Oh, the right click.
Oh, the right click is real.
Painful.
Oh.
Small mistakes out of Astrea right there.
Well, things are getting crazy here. So much is happening at once. The double Robo is about to be destroyed here. Dark is still maxed out. He's been able to remake his army. You can see, I mean, there's plenty of gas and minerals here for Astrea, but it's going to be a little bit before he can be maxed out again.
Oh my God. High Templar auto attacks on Ultralisks. I never thought I'd see the day. He's going to throw down some Psy Storms here, but Astrea has lost so much in just the last few moments.
I love the idea of the Void Rays, but he didn't get them in high enough numbers.
Yeah, well, they rallied in and just died immediately. Now look at this. Everything he has popping out is going to be killed off by these Corruptors in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I think that this actually is the end here. Even though these counterattacks are great, I just don't know that the Death Ball can be stopped.
It is very tough
but
here.
This
just
was an amazing game.
Massacred.
This is an amazing game. Now, let's not give up just yet. These Zealots are actually destroying a lot of tech in here.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
he's
a lot. If he can just stabilize, maybe. I mean, keep in mind, it's mostly Corruptors in supply, right?
That's true.
If he can just only make Stalkers here, maybe he can actually pull it together.
I think the problem is Ultras and Lurkers kind of counter everything, right?
Yeah.
You need Immortals at this point to really fight this. And he doesn't even have his Robos anymore, unfortunately. He is making a Robo somewhere.
All right. He's going to recall those Zealots.
Can he Can he pull
The
something
thing is,
together?
Astrea has more bases with resources at them. That's an important thing to note.
Yeah,
Dark
that is
lost
true.
a lot of tech.
That is
okay?
true. And I mean, he's got very highly microable units. Remember we were talking about the Blink Stalkers a little bit earlier on? That's something to consider, but Dark is maxed out. He still has a bigger bank,
Oh,
too.
he has to remake the forge. He can't make cannons right now.
Well, I mean, he's got a lot of shield battery zealots and cannons here, so it'll hold for a little bit till these lurkers come in.
Yeah, I think he's done.
I
Maybe,
think so.
though.
I think so.
Yeah. Trying to see what Dark actually has here. It looks like he can only make lings. I might be wrong, but we have 36 lings being made. There's still plenty in the bank for both sides, but Dark is maxed out. Again, though, it's mostly Corruptors. Now, Corruptors can take on buildings. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know.
He has enough Corruptors, he could kill a bunch of buildings with those two. Yeah, Dark does have a big bank, but...
He's starting to push here.
Can Astrea do something still here?
This is one of the harder games we've had to cast here.
Well, it's such a bizarre position. We've never really seen anything quite like this.
That number of Ultras is pretty scary.
It is.
And the Lurkers here as well, just the combination, like you were saying.
Dude, if he just had a handful of Immortals right now,
yeah,
I feel like if he had 4 Immortals, I would be questioning much more whether or not he could do this.
I think this is going to be the final attack here. There's just an overwhelming amount of Ultras. GG, but man, what a game.
What a
30-minute game, by the way.
What a game. That was a fantastic display of skill on both sides. And I gotta say, that if that doesn't give you the wigglies about Astrea and his future in StarCraft 2, nothing is gonna give you the wigglies, and I feel
You'll
bad.
never know what the wigglies are.
I pity you, frankly.
You say, oh no, I was born without the part of my brain that lets me feel the wigglies.
Yeah, if you're sitting there and you're like, Artosis, why do you call yourself Artosis? I'm like, well, I mean, you don't watch StarCraft, do you? That's why you're not getting the wigglies? I feel even worse for you now.
I feel the wigglies. Do you feel the wigglies?
That was great, though. What a game.
To take a game like that, he did that against Dark.
He plays a game like that against Impact, he's going to win it.
I mean, I think that almost any other Zerg, he brings a game like that, he wins it.
Yeah, you're going to have to be one of the very big-name championship Zergs, it feels like, to deal with that.
I mean, that was crazy. He had a really smart build for Game 1. I like the idea. You know, it's intended to win the game very quickly. But then in Game 2, he shows, okay, this is how you play a macro game against the world champion.
Tactically, he was completely brilliant.
We're going to a break. We come back, our second best of 3. Do not go away.